I'll call this meeting to order. It's the Dumfries Town Council meeting of Tuesday, December the 6th at 7:01 p.m. Please call for the roll.
Yes, sir. Councilman Brown,
Present.
Councilman Fields,
Here.
Councilwoman Miles,
Present.
Councilwoman Neville,
Present.
Councilman Pete,
Here.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
Please note she's attending a awards dinner for us.
Mayor Wood.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
All right. We'll have a moment of our silent prayer that'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. All right, next on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Remove. All right,
Second.
it's been moved. Second, any discussion on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Pete,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miles,
Aye.
Councilwoman Neville,
Aye.
Councilman Fields.
Yes.
And that's a yes for me. The agenda has been properly adopted. All right, first on our agenda is the awards and proclamations. First one is our World AIDS Day and HIV Awareness Proclamation. Councilwoman Neville.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I would like for representatives from the Inova Juniper program to come and approach the podium, please. You know, they service the town and they have space at our shopping center, but I'm pretty sure most people there, you all are one of the special things that we don't know we need until we know we need something a little more. And I'm so happy that you're here. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and read this proclamation. Whereas over 40 years ago, the first documented cases of AIDS brought about an era of uncertainty, fear, and discrimination. Whereas HIV/AIDS has taken tens of millions of lives, and far too many people with HIV have struggled to get the care, treatment, and compassion they deserve. And whereas people living with HIV can face stigma and discrimination, creating barriers to prevention and treatment services. And whereas in the decades since the first cases, with ingenuity, leadership, research, and historic investments in evidence-based practices, we have begun to move forward an era of resilience and hope. And we are closer than ever to reaching an AIDS-free generation. Whereas on World AIDS Day and HIV/AIDS Awareness Month, we join with the international community to remember those we have lost too soon. Reflect on the tremendous progress we have made in battling this disease, and provide support and compassion to those living with HIV. And whereas we are fortunate to have an Inova Juniper program located in the town of Dumfries to provide all aspects of primary medical care and mental health care, substance abuse and case management services to HIV positive individuals, along with a history of delivering compassionate HIV/AIDS clinical and educational services. And whereas the town of Dumfries is a member of the Northern Virginia Regional Commission, which manages funding from the Ryan White Comprehensive AIDS Resources Emergency Care and supports the INOVA Juniper program. Now therefore, be it resolved that the town of Dumfries hereby acknowledges December 1st as World AIDS Day and each December as HIV/AIDS Awareness Month. And I am proud to offer you all this proclamation from the town of Dumfries.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. She did such a good job. I was going to tell you about our program, but she's already done that, so I don't want to take up too much time. Inova Juniper program was formed 35 years ago almost, in 1988. But we've been in Dumfries for over 20 years. We're located at the Dumfries Plaza Shopping Mall or Shopping Center on Freely Boulevard. We've been there for almost 20 years. So it's amazing to be able to be recognized. We so appreciate it. We've been serving patients over this last year. We've seen about 200 patients. So what we provide is all those things that Councilman Neville has shared. So, I don't want to take too much more time, but we also provide prevention services. So we do HIV tests, we do STI testing. Our goal is really to create a system where we're able to quickly identify someone who might be HIV positive, get them under medical care, and then make sure that they're considered undetectable. Undetectable will mean that they're untransmittable. They can have relationships, they can have multiple relationships with different people or their same partner, but they won't be detecting and they won't be transmitting HIV. And that's the goal that we try to achieve. As Councilman Neville mentioned, we do have Ryan White funding. Ryan White funding is really through federal government, but it really is targeting those patients who are most underrepresented, underserved, underinsured, and uninsured. So those in the community that have a need that might not be able to find that need somewhere else, they have a home at Inova Juniper program. I'm joined today by Elena Lamb. She is one of our medical assistants, and Claudia Chavez, who is one of our patient access associates. So thank you for the time. Thank you for the recognition. And we appreciate you being here today. Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is a Community Service Award, first to the Buffalo Soldiers. Councilman Fields.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Before I get started, I would like to thank the mayor and the rest of the town council for allowing me to continue this, which I want to make it a tradition. My first recipient was last year of the Brian Fields Community Service Award, or Councilman Fields Community Service Award, and sponsored by backing of the council. So I just want to thank each of you for continuing to allow me to do so. Would a representative of Buffalo Soldiers come to the podium, or several? It's up to you all. Outstanding Service Award presented by Councilman Brian K. Fields to the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club of Northern Virginia. Whereas the Christmas in Dumfries Shop with a Cop program has been a Dumfries Police Department's tradition since the late 90s and was started by Officer Worley under the leadership of the late Calvin L. Johnson. And whereas the annual yearly tradition has helped many families over the years from the Dumfries and Triangle areas. For many years, we have had way more children than officers and volunteers. Whereas during these outnumbered times, the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club of Northern Virginia was called upon to assist, and like true soldiers, they rose to the occasion and served. Without the Buffalo Soldiers' support, the program may not have been as successful as it is now and will continue to be. And whereas the Buffalo Soldiers has a motto of ready and forward, which comes from the 10th Cavalry of the United States Army. And whereas the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club of Northern Virginia was established in 2002 and has served the local community in many ways by teaching the history of the Buffalo Soldier at our local schools and community events and promoting safe riding habits. And whereas the town of Dumfries greatly appreciates your continued service to our town and community and being an outstanding partner in the Christmas in Dumfries program. Now therefore be it proclaimed, I, Brian K. Fields, Councilman of the town of Dumfries, do hereby recognize the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club of Northern Virginia as the recipient of the Outstanding Community Services Award 2022 on this 6th day of December 2022 in the town of Dumfries, and urge all citizens to congratulate them for the honor they are receiving today. By order of council and our mayor, Derek R. Wood, Mayor, Town of Dumfries, December 6, 2022.
Well, as Councilman Field said, I guess it was maybe 7 years ago, we were called upon to assist with the efforts with the Shop with the Cop. So as we do with our 119 chapters throughout 40 states, when we're called, we come to serve. So with that, on behalf of our founder, Ken Dreammaker Thomas, of the National Association of Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Troopers Motorcycle Club, we thank you. If you need us, you know where to find us. We're not hard. So Councilman Fields, Mayor, we appreciate the honor. To the citizens of Dumfries, if you need us, Councilman Fields know where we're at. With that, thank you.
Councilman Fields, carry on.
As you're sitting down, I'm a soldier too. And I'm very proud to be Buffalo Soldier and this.
Next on the agenda is the Community Service Award for Mr. Nathaniel Keys. Go ahead, Brian.
There it is, that award-winning smile. I was waiting on that before I start. Outstanding Service Award presented by Councilman Brian K. Fields to Nathaniel Key, Mr. Nathaniel Key. Whereas Nathaniel Key has been an outstanding mentor and an automotive technical manager at our local Jiffy Lube for nearly 20 years. And whereas through his leadership, he has inspired at least 30 or more young men and women to become technicians in the automotive industry. Many techs that he has mentored have gone on to other local dealers or other Jiffy Lubes within the Northern Virginia area. And whereas his expertise has been sought after to travel to many other locations to assist in training and business stability. And whereas Mr. Keys, long history and knowledge in the automotive technical industry, started as a teenager with assisting family who worked on cars from the backyard to the professional shops. And whereas mentors like Mr. Key are what his technicians and clientele greatly appreciate about him. He definitely knows how to take care of his clients and new customers with an award-winning smile and his familiarity with different vehicles and tools of the trade. Dumfries has one of the best in Mr. Key, and we greatly appreciate him. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Brian K. Fields, Councilman of the town of Dumfries, do hereby recognize Nathaniel Key as the recipient of the Outstanding Community Service Award 2022 on this 6th day of December 2022 in the town of Dumfries, and urge all citizens to congratulate him for the honor he is receiving today. By order of the council, Mayor Derek R. Wood, town of Dumfries, December 6, 2022.
Ms. Key, you need some Kleenex? You good?
Thank you there, sir.
All right.
I appreciate it. I want to thank everybody, especially my friend Brian, the mayor, everybody who came today to support me. I just been with Jiffy Lube for 19 plus years. I started off as a tech, went into management and kept going. And I trained over 30 plus employees. I got my son over there who works for Jiffy Lube as well. He's learning the trade. And I'm just going to continue to do what I do and continue to help everybody. So if you ever need an oil change or whatever, I'm your man. All right.
All right. Right here in Dumfries, y'all.
Yeah. Next, a Community Service Award to Mr. Ted. How you pronounce it? Yes.
Joe Lewis.
Joe Lewis. I want to make sure I say it right.
While Ted's coming up, I'm gonna give a little prelude to Ted. What's going on? Huh? Where's your brother? I don't know. Ted is a special guy. And y'all heard of the television show Undercover Boss? That's why he's standing up here today. That means a lot to be recognized and to be on national television because of work ethics, something that his parents taught him well. And to be a young man and to mentor other people says a lot, says a lot. All right, let me get busy. I need some water. Hold on. Outstanding Service Award presented by Councilman Brian K. Fields to Mr. Ted Delores.
Correct.
Whereas Ted Delores has been a resident of Dumfries area for almost 20 years and graduated from Potomac High School in 2008. And whereas Ted's work ethic and great ability to lead and mentor and is one of a kind, and is so greatly noticed by his peers and people he worked around. And whereas this great way about Ted landed him on the CBS show Undercover Boss, episode titled On Call 24/7. And whereas Ted was working for Restoration One for 6 years at the time, and just recently moved on to further his career with another local company. Whereas wherever Ted will go, his work ethics is one to be proud of. According to Ted, I quote, I like working in my position as a team leader because I'm almost like a fireman, coming to people's rescue when they have a problem, without the flames, of course, laugh out loud. Whereas Ted is a great example of a Dumfries resident and a Potomac High School graduate doing great things in our community. Now therefore be it proclaimed, I, Brian K. Fields, Councilman of the town of Dumfries, do hereby recognize Ted Dolores as the recipient of the Outstanding Community Service Award 2022 on this 6th day of December 2022 in the town of Dumfries, and urge all citizens to congratulate him for his honor that he is receiving today. By order of the council, Mayor Derek R. Wood, town of Dumfries, 2022, December 6th.
Thank you. Thank you for the recognition.
I'm just gonna get away with this, that. You start going undercover boss, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I moved here in 2003, pretty much been here ever since. Graduated from Potomac, like he said, but as far as my work ethic, all I like to do is, just help people out whenever I can, just being a team player and just working hard. That's all it really comes down to. Doesn't feel like you might get notarized, but in the long run, it does pay off. Plus I do it for my family. So thank you for, the award, and I appreciate everybody.
All right, next on the agenda, I'm gonna take a mayor's personal privilege, and I'm gonna ask Councilwoman Neville to come to the podium.
I asked for 5 minutes break.
I know. For those who don't know, today is Councilwoman Neville's last meeting with us, and we wanted to be able to recognize her in front of you all with some special recognition for Councilwoman Sidney DeVille. So here is a proclamation.
Okay.
It says, whereas Councilwoman Sidney DeVille was elected to the office of Dumfries Town Council in May 2018, and whereas Councilwoman Sidney DeVille served faithfully the constituents of the town of Dumfries until her term ended on December 31st, 2022. And whereas the impact of Councilwoman DeVille's service and dedication to public service is known and felt throughout Prince William County and Northern Virginia. And whereas she is known as fearless, focused, a forward-thinking advocate for all things aligned with the concept of bringing change for betterment of not only the town of Dumfries and its residents, but throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia. And whereas her contributions are too numerous to mention, however, I'm going to mention some of the most mentionable contributions as follows. She has served currently and has been serving to the end of this term as the Northern Virginia Regional Commission, as the first Black woman to chair our Northern Virginia Regional Commission, and she's been the leading voice here for championing the presence of historical Black colleges and universities to come up to Northern Virginia and have a presence. She's been a champion in the partnership between the town of Dumfries and Grow with Google. She's championed the streaming of our town board and commission meetings. She's been a loud voice for a lot of fiscal financial support for our nonprofit, especially the Friends of Dumfries Slave Cemetery. A loud voice for Alzheimer's awareness in the town of Dumfries, as well as making sure that the town of Dumfries is dementia friendly. She has been a very good advocate and ally to making sure that we moved our elections from May to the month of November so that everybody had the opportunity and the voice to let their votes be heard. She's been very vocal about having inclusive language in our legislative agendas to support amendments to legislation and make sure that we had a renewable pilot program for third-party power purchase agreements, also known as PPAs, that would increase our program cap from 50 megawatts to 500. She has been a champion in development of our CPACE program ordinance to make sure that the town had the ability to go out and support these businesses with commercial financing. She's championed making sure that we got letters to the General Assembly to encourage them to address our housing issues that was brought forth through the recent pandemic, to extend the eviction to support measures to freeze foreclosure and to provide additional funding for those eviction prevention programs. She has done numerous resolutions and proclamations recognizing pride, condemning systematic racism for the National Pan-Hellenic Council Founders Day, protecting reproductive rights, Native American Heritage Month, World AIDS Day, as you just heard, awareness to the coal ash, support of businesses navigated, registration process, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and honoring and making sure that we rename McLaughlin Way from Confederate Court to Liberty Lane as well.
Favorite.
So whereas Councilwoman Neville will forever be remembered in this town as an agent of change, a community activator, and more importantly, an educator, spearheading our Dumfries Juneteenth Day celebration, which brings local visitors to our community, helping us to continue to make Dumfries a destination place that people don't just drive through, but they drive to. So now,
Put
therefore,
that in there.
be it resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries hereby recognize Sydney Neville for appreciation to her service in the town of Dumfries as a councilwoman, and we wish her continued success in her endeavors. By order of the council, signed Mayor Derek Wood,
Oh,
this day, December 3rd.
wait a minute. Hold on. In front of here.
Mark, they're not taking a break. We did the same.
Thank you, Mayor. No, I
Oh,
did
wait,
not.
wait, there was also a delivery here today from Ms. Lofton sent me in the.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Lofton. Thank you so much. Wow, I'm so excited. Can you take that back? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, so I had some notes on my phone, which I left up there, and that's fine. Clearly someone's cooking something with onions in here because Councilwoman Neville, she don't shed tears, you know? So my eyes are sweating a little bit here. But, woo. I was a director of community services for the town of Dumfries back in 2011 to 2014. And I always talk about you can do anything too. I'm the little homeless girl in Alexandria that became the first one to go to college in my family. I recognized Juniper and I knew who they were when I moved here in 2002 because I lost an uncle to HIV/AIDS complications. You know, my mother always said, dazzle them with your brilliance. And when I think of important things and things that kind of resonated with me that I've heard since being here in the town, one of them was, you know, Sydney, your vision is too big for Dumfries. You know, as the mayor said, you know, I had a vision for making the town an inclusive community. I had envisioned strengthening the fabrics that make our community. And that is actually my platform. That's what I ran on. I had a vision for helping businesses, which is why we have the partnership with Grow with Google. A vision when I was director of community services, hosting events, seeing all these micro businesses that didn't have all their paperwork in order, but they were present and they were fierce at our festivals every time. And just helping those businesses and giving them what they need to come from the darkness into the light. I had a vision to work with ACTS. And right now there is a room, a children's room dedicated and the woman's shelter in honor of myself and my mother through a hefty donation. Just a vision to expand my reach and educate. Education is truly the key to everything, whatever you're going through in your life right now. Education is the key to unlock, and live your best life that God has destined for you. There's so much to say. When I served as community services director, I had a vision of, wow, I want to be on NVRC one day. I was one of the few employees that got to serve on VML on the the Humanities and Education Committee, and Human Services. And so I'm like, one day I want to serve on NVRC. So it's one thing to be the first Black woman, but I always talk about making an impact. That's what it's all about, making indelible impacts. And I hope when you all reflect on my vision, an active citizen in the community who in the summer of 2011 approached Potomac News. Anybody remember Potomac News here? I approached them because I'm like, we got a lot of good things going on in the town of Dumfries, and I want to amplify all of those things. And so they allowed me to have a community column in Potomac News. And that's when I got to know Nancy West, other council members. I was worked so hard. Derek had his food truck, and I would order my cheeseburger and my sweet potato fries like once a week. And that community column turned into me working as director of community services, which turned into a situation where I had to triumph over adversity like nobody's business, and turned to me essentially becoming one of my boss's bosses, and turned to me turning to you all as citizens of the town who are at the top of the organizational structure chart. I hope you all know that. You all have all the power. The council needs your voice. Now listen, I'm not trying to be one of those people coming back here. This is my last meeting, okay? So y'all need to tune in, tap in, be engaged, come to the meetings, come to the parade, because Ms. Hill been working hard. Come, don't let this be the last time we see you here in the town. Hold your vision and bring it to fruition. I thank you tremendously for allowing me to serve in this capacity. And I'm still here. I got a whole business up the street impacting literacy in our community. So I thank you. Thank you. That's all I got.
At this time, I want to take a quick 5-minute recess to allow you all to get some pictures. Who got your award? So give me a 5-minute recess. Thank y'all for indulging us with that break to just be able to take care of that. We appreciate all of those who celebrate. Next on our agenda is just the approval of the minutes.
Mayor, I move we approve the minute.
Second.
Move second. Any discussion on the minutes? All right, seeing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Fields?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Neville?
Aye.
Councilman Pete? Minutes?
Yes.
Councilman Brown?
I have to recuse myself.
Okay. Councilwoman Miles?
Aye.
And I abstained, I wasn't here is either. All right. That motion carries. Huh?
I'm sorry, did Councilman Peter abstain?
No, he.
Yes, make that correction and I'm abstaining from that also. And I was.
Oh, you was absent as well. Okay,
Yeah, that's fine.
very well. You got your count? Okay, we'll bring back. No problem. Next on our agenda is our citizen comment period. Were any citizens signed up to speak today? Madam Clerk? I know, we'll get it. I didn't bring my abacus.
First time. My minutes didn't pass. Okay. Yes, sir. We have two that have signed up to speak. The first is Miss Ebony Lofton. And she would like to speak regarding Councilwoman Sydney Neville.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Wolf, for presenting the flowers. I wasn't sure I was going to do that. So, Councilwoman Neville, congratulations, and I guess bittersweet. The dictionary says that one who dissents does not conform and sits apart, usually in matters related to politics or religion. Over the years, you have embodied what it means to be a dissident. And many times you are a lone vote, standing firm behind your beliefs and values, always with the citizens of Dumfries at the forefront of your mind. I've truly enjoyed working with you on various community activities, especially the Juneteenth parade, first ever in the area, our conversations about CPACE, and attending many of your events over the years. You are what I consider the epitome of true leadership and integrity, and your body of work and the many well-deserved awards. I got a chance to witness you winning one recently. You've received as confirmation of the lasting impression you have left with many others in this world. I wish you all the success in the future with your learning center located right here in Dumfries and on Main Street, and no doubt we'll see a lot more of you soon. I wrote a song to you on the way here, and I want to sing it to you now. I'm joking. I'm joking. Thank you so much for your service, Councilwoman Neville, and to the town of Dumfries. God bless you.
Madam Clerk, I was gonna have to tell Councilman Brown to pull out his keyboard. Or do you pay to?
Yes, sir. Mr. Justin Wilk regarding the specialty program.
Or is that just, is that not on the agenda?
He signed up to speak.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay,
That will be prior, right before the.
okay,
Okay.
very well.
Thank you.
Was there any other citizen business owner that came in late that didn't sign up, that wanted the opportunity to speak? Okay. Are there any omissions on my left? Okay, all right. Next, we'll have our council comments. Councilman Fields, did you have any further comments tonight?
Yes. Look, I'm enjoying that as many people came out. I know they got awards and they brought their families and friends and everything. I'm just so excited about that and with that. And let me move on to Ms. Neville. Yeah, I'm gonna roast you. First of all, Sydney and I have been friends for many years. We share something in common called that little school down in Petersburg called Virginia State University. I worked there, she went there. I think I did some classes, I don't know. But we share that in common. And when I was working for the town as a police officer, Sydney was working for the town as community services director. And we worked together a lot. Then we go to council and we work together a lot. And I must say, it tested our friendship. It really did. But that's my sister still. And I love you, my sister. And, you know, politics can bring out some ugliness in people. But at the end of the day, somebody has got to be woman enough, man enough to say, hey, we got to put all that behind us. You're still my sister. You're still my friend. Because how did we start? We started as friends and we decided to serve. So we're going to miss you. Great serving with you and all that good stuff. So, and with that being said, you know, we're in a festive time of year, and regardless of what you may believe, think, or whatever, we serve for the people. We may disagree on some things, but at the end of the day, let's get together and work for the people in our town and our community. And let's enjoy our Christmas season. So I want to thank all y'all for coming, and let's have a happy, Merry Christmas and all that good stuff. I'm just happy, and I'm going to continue to have a smile on my face and hope I can share it with everyone else. Thank you.
Councilman Pete.
Yes, I would first like to say happy holidays to all and for everyone to be safe as we get started with enjoying the festivities and family and friends of our holidays, and be cautious of the traffic and everything that will be coming our way. Make your preparations for these stores. Next, I would like to move on to Ms. DeVille. Sydney, we had a good time on the whole ride from the beginning to the end. And it's probably still going to continue, being that you have your business right around the corner. Remember the days of us working together when you was the director of community service. I remember the mentoring program. You know, I remember you being upstairs in the old building, and from whence we came to where we at now is amazing. I just want to say thank you for, some of the advice and the honesty and the leadership and guidance that you've given me on when there were multiple times when I felt like I didn't have the answer. I could come to you for some answers. And not only would you pinpoint me into a direction, you would see me through on some things. And whether it been sports or even outside of the town business, you've always been a sister. I can say everybody can agree with that. And I want to say thank you for the sister that you've represented for the town of Dumfries, and coming from where you were to where you are now, and to God Almighty of where you could be going in the future. God, the sky's the limit for you, and we can definitely see the shine in you as a representative for our community. So again, I want to say thank you for everything that you've done and the impact that you've had on so many children, the young females, the young men, the elementary schools, the middle schools, up to high school, even colleges. I want to say thank you in that aspect, because I understand you in the educational aspect of things. I'm into the more sports recreational, so it kind of ties in with each other. And then I want to say thank you also for doing the community fun day that we had that day. We had a nice time, got to lay back and enjoy some things. Oh man, I encourage everyone to participate in some of our events. We have a good time. We're picking it back up. The COVID's over. We're shaking our shoulders off. So please do and come out to our event. Sydney, again, I want to say thank you for all your successes, and much blessings and pleasures to you and your new business that you're about to encounter. Thank you. Moving on, I want to congratulate the middle school children that represent the town of Dumfries in several areas and even through the specialty programs that you'll be talking about here later that have been accepted into the STEAM program, the science, technology, engineering, and math. One day we hope we can throw the art in there as the STEM program. I spoke with you some time ago about that, Ms. Miles. Also would like to add on to the on our educational side of our Freedom High School. And if any of you all don't know about our Freedom High School, we have some children that attend specialty programs at Freedom High School. And I want to really thank that school from principal on down from what they have done so far and being an undefeated football team. And not only guiding these children in the right direction and helping them get college visits, making sure they stay on their grades and not just have passing okay grades, but to excel and push yourself past through. They're on their way to the state championship here. This next coming week here down in Old Dominion University. The location may change, but as of now, it's down in Old Dominion University. I want to thank that also because my daughter attends Old Dominion University as a dean's student at the university. So again, I want to thank those children and if we all can, it's not too far for us to go down to Old Dominion University. If we can go down there and represent Prince William County, going down there to get the state championship in our football aspect, I would encourage everyone to let's go support our football team and see if we can bring home that state championship to Prince William County here. Also, I would like to add on the flu season is in effect, everyone. Yes. In our schools, elementary on up, in our communities, households. I had a moment where I had two households. The whole house was sick. I mean, two children, one senior's going to the hospital. So please do, guys. We have the PWC District Mobile Truck that will be in our Fire and Rescue Center here in a couple of days. I can see if I maybe work with the town manager to see if we can get those dates on the website. I would encourage everyone to get your flu shots. If you haven't done so thus far, as the flu season is really affecting this area now. If you may know someone or some friends that are being affected by the flu, or if you would like to, it's free down there at the Fire and Rescue Center, the Prince William County District Mobile Clinic Unit. That's what it's called, the MCU, the Mobile Clinic Unit. Also, we have coming up next is our Christmas parade. You know, I'm big with the events. It's on December the 10th. If I'm not mistaken, we're starting at the Fire and Rescue Center there again. Though. Okay. So we'll be on December the 10th. We'll be doing our Christmas parade. My main point is to see our citizens out and enjoying the events as we used to. Mayor, if you can cover the location of where we're going to start at so we can have our citizens being present at that event. Thank you all again, Councilman Sean P. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilman Brown,
Thank you, Mayor.
hit your mic so we can hear you.
Thank you, Mayor. I got my mic. Thank you. I'm trying to make this short. First of all, I missed last council meeting and I want to publicly and personally congratulate Mayor, Vice Mayor, Councilwoman Miles for being reelected. Also, I would like to thank the citizens for going out on midterm and voting. As I mentioned last time I was here, whether the impact was favorable to what I would like, the need to vote your conscience, and the need to think about supporting your community and your neighbors. And I think that happened this voting cycle. So thank you for going out and voting. Continue to vote, encourage your fellow neighbors to get out and vote. Also, I would like to thank Councilman Fields. Thank you for acknowledging our local citizens. I retired from the Navy. And if I mention Top Gun, the movie, you think about Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise flew a $10 million jet, but that jet could not get up in the air unless there were some people supporting that jet. And it's simple as that. No one is so awesome that they can do everything by themselves. So the acknowledgement for the people who support the town of Dumfries is important. And I think, Sydney, you displayed that. And I don't know you as well as the rest of the council, but I do know that when you see something that you need to correct, you're on it. And it's not gonna stop till you get done with it. And I appreciate that. We need check and balances. We all would not agree with everything, and someone has to stand ground and make us think, and you've done that for sure. So I appreciate that, and thank you for bringing that to the council. Last but not least, I had a co-worker that I used to work with about 5 years ago. He moved to the town of Dumfries. And he came to the council chambers about two sessions ago. And he said, T, we had some problems with crime in Dumfries. And being the political person that I am, I reached back to my inner self and said, well, you know, Dumfries is probably the safest place in Prince William County. That's factual. However, what he was saying is that he sees that there's a problem with crime from his perspective. So I have to acknowledge that we have citizens that believe that crime is an issue here in Dumfries. The very next day, we had a shooting, broad daylight, in his neighborhood. 2 weeks later, we had someone that got shot in a car back in Williamstown. So even though we're the safest town in Dumfries, there are some things that we, the council, citizens of Dumfries, we need to work together and make sure that we screen this stuff out. We all have to work together. You see something, please call the police. Do not allow this to get any worse than it is right now. And without eyes on the street, we're not going to fix this. The police officers cannot be everywhere at one time. So please, you can reach out to me, HONTBrown@dumfriesva.gov. You can send me an email if you want some support. If we need to create a neighborhood watch, we can do that. But let's work together to make sure that we do not move into the wrong direction. And with that, I yield back. Thank you.
Councilwoman Miles.
Thank you, Mayor. So first of all, I would like to commend the staff for all they're doing to make Christmas special in Dumfries. We had a wonderful Christmas tree lighting. Sad I couldn't attend in person, but shout out to the mayor and Facebook Live because I still got to experience it. Town Hall has never looked better. And I also want to thank the police department for all they're doing. Shotwell Cop is currently accepting applications from now to the 15th. You can either email your applications or you could drop them off at the police department. In the meantime, they have been all over Northern Virginia shopping with cops, shopping with kids and making Christmas special for our children everywhere. So I want to thank y'all for truly being the example for what this season is all about, which is giving back and spreading joy throughout our community. So Sydney Neville. Man, so I was trying not to get emotional, but it's probably gonna happen. If it happens, it happens. I want to thank you for your service to the town. Like, you have truly made an impact from the whole time that I've known you. You've been about uplifting the community and giving back and serving your purpose. And so while I'm sad to see you go, I'm excited for the next chapter in your life. I couldn't be more thrilled to see what you're going to do next. I will be somewhere cheering you on. And though you'll be missed, I know we have yet to see the best is yet to come. I know that your impact has not only hit the town of Dumfries, but the Commonwealth in general. So spread your wings You will be missed, but you won't be far because I know where you live and I know where your son lives. So Southern won't be you get rid of it. Lastly, I do want to point out that the Prince William County Parks and Recreation Commission has a walking around the boardwalk at Neabsco Regional Park. It's a Christmas tree lighting. It will be going on all weekend. So if you get a chance, please go and check that out. And in addition to that, the Parks and Recreation Department, I just want to make an announcement for parents of children with special needs or even adults that have disabilities themselves. If there are any activities going on with the Parks and Recreation Department, they are open to all of us. They're all inclusive. And if you need accommodations, please reach out to the staff. They will provide whatever accommodation is necessary so that we can participate in those activities as well. Please check out their website. You can also check out my website and social media. I will be posting more information. I know that I'm personally going to take advantage of it, but we want to make sure we reap all the benefits as you know these tools are being offered. And okay, so I know I said lastly the last time, but lastly for real this time, I do want to congratulate Freedom High School on their win. I know the Potomac School Board rep is here, and I know it's normally all about the Bruins and about the Panthers, but I've been Team Freedom all year because, you know, anything Eagle is good with me. So wishing them success in their state championship.
Councilwoman Neville.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, last meeting, the town manager had mentioned an MOU that I asked for meeting prior to that. And I said, well, that's one way to shut me up. Y'all caught me off guard today, and that is another way to shut me up. I had some things to share. I do want to commend the Board of County Supervisors. I saw earlier today during their meeting, they have put something in place to address the uptick in crime and violence in our communities. And that is on the county website. Also, I would like to commend the mayor, the council, Ms. Peterson. Congratulations to you all on your reelection, those of you who just ran. And I'd also like to commend Ms. Ebony Lofton. You know, running for office is not easy. You put yourself on the line to be judged, to have your, you know, it may not be that serious, but something you don't want everyone to know about. It may be on the front page of the paper. You never know. So running for office is not for the faint of heart. You are serving yourself up to be judged, to help people who oftentimes that don't know they need your help. So kudos to everyone who ran. Kudos to those of you who won. And we all know Ms. Lofton, she is the epitome of what it means to be an engaged citizen. And I know this is not her last council meeting, and she's going to be back and she's going to be tapped in and she's going to hold everybody accountable. So we have checks and balances, and hopefully other citizens, especially those who were here tonight, who have left already, will come back and stay tuned and tapped into what's going on in Dumfries. We have a lot of good things going on in Dumfries. I also want to say, I've been in my house 20 years. I'm not selling it yet until the market goes up when Rosie's is done. Then I'll consider some things because I might want to, you know, pay off a PhD program. You never know. So I'm here. I have the Joy of Literacy Learning and Women's Empowerment Center, which is about to be a nonprofit in our community. I also have the Virginia Black Lifestyle Magazine, shameless plug, but this is my last meeting. So what's going to happen? Sharon Pandek's cool with it. So after the parade, I do welcome children, families come. I have some activities that we're going to do at the Learning Center and pictures with Santa and Mrs. Claus on the most beautiful porch on Main Street. So other than that, I had two quotes I wanted to share earlier, and I did not commit them to memory, so I'm going to read them. And these are from two women who are no longer physically here, but they are members of my sorority, and they mean a lot to me. One of them is a quote from the triumphant, Honorable Yvonne B. Miller. Yvonne B. Miller was the first Black woman to serve at the state level in the Commonwealth of Virginia. She was a teacher she grew up in Norfolk during massive resistance. She was teaching. She started her program at Norfolk State Institute, and the names have changed then. But then, of course, she finished at the illustrious Virginia State University. And the quote I'd like to share is, Politics was interesting to me. I had enough wins to keep it interesting and enough losses to keep me humble. And that is Yvonne B. Miller. And another one of my sorority sisters, Miss Maggie Lena Walker. She was the first Black woman to run for office, period, on the Black ticket. As a Republican during her time, this was just in the early 1900s, and she ran as superintendent of instruction. Now, of course, everybody on that ticket lost at that time, but she was the first one. She ran a bank during a time where people had no money and were losing their money left and right. They trusted her to hold on to their money. She had a department store during that time with Black mannequins in downtown Richmond and Jackson Ward, one of my favorite communities in the Commonwealth of Virginia. She too was a teacher. She too had a newsletter. We have a lot of things in common, but Sydney doesn't do the treasury thing and all that kind of stuff. But Miss Maggie Lena Walker has a governor's school in her honor. She's also in the garden, the woman in the garden outside of the state capitol. And she has a beautiful statue in Jackson Ward as well. And her quote is, "The greatest power on earth for the power of righting wrongs is the power of agitation." And I encourage anyone here, anyone tuned in, anyone looking at YouTube 3 days after this has been recorded, never cease or miss an opportunity to agitate. Sometimes things gotta be shaken up a little bit. Thank you.
Mr. Rogers, just want to give you opportunity. You have any remarks tonight? Just, you sure you don't want to say nothing? Mic up so we can hear you on the YouTube. We got to hear you on the YouTube.
Thank you, Mayor. I was hoping to say what I would like to share with Councilwoman Neville off the mic, but I just wanted to take the opportunity to say that it is truly an honor to serve. Anytime you're in this type of position and you have 7 bosses, you have a very challenging job, but I appreciated you this entire step of the way. I felt like everything that the town has been through and grown has really been, you have really been a catalyst for all of the positive change that has occurred in town. And so I just want to personally say it's been a personal pleasure for me to serve under your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. You know, we go back in the same political sandbox in 2012, which Salonia also belongs to, different class. But yes, and every time Mr. Rogers looks, I swear he's laughing at me, y'all.
Ms. Panic, did you have any remarks? I just want to give you a point of privilege.
Thank you very much.
Well, my comments go back to, when did we first stumble across, I gave her a little roast. So a lot of people don't know that, my introduction to local politics came through Councilwoman Neville. Yeah. The reason, the catalyst that got me started was we was working on an event together. She does her annual birthday bag drive. And we were out supporting one of the local businesses. And I think I donated some burgers and some dogs and stuff for the event. And it was at that time where the people who were serving on this diet sent me a cease and desist notice that triggered me to actually attend. But she had been urging me for quite some time, right? I admit this she was urging me to get involved and to come to the council meetings. And me, I was like, well, what is a council meeting? What do I need to come to a council meeting for? right? Until I got this letter. And so she was the one that pushed and said, you ought to get involved. And I said no, but of course, history has said some other things to get in. She, as a community service, we spent many days up in that office talking about community service type events and planning, and to see us to go from that time. Like, you know, this was, I promise you, this was nothing I was looking to do, nothing I raised my hand. I should tell you, I said no several times, and it was other people that actually rallied behind to get me involved, because I didn't see politics as a calling for me. Like I promise you, I wanted nothing to do with this. I put my hand down, but it took community coming to me and pushing, and I appreciate that push getting me involved. Even though initially at the time I didn't want to. And it was at that time I developed the vision that I was gonna make Dumfries, you know, I wanted to be a part of making it a destination place, you know, from, we bumped heads on, you know, the summer concerts and putting the Parks and Recs Commission together, you know, but it's par for the course and putting those type of things for that catalyst of change. You know, in politics, people don't like two things. People don't like change, and people don't like for things to remain the same. Right? But, and it's a paradox in this industry. People don't like change, and they don't like for things to remain the same. And so there's always friction, but the only constant we have in life is change. And so this was, for her to be a part of what I consider now a historic council. Councilman Fields always calls me and reminds me, he said, you know, we're the only council in Virginia, in the Commonwealth, or probably anywhere, that was able to do what we did with actually an all-Black council. And I say, you know, and I look at it, and I serve on some state boards, and I serve on some national boards, and you are part of this history. You're part of, we've done some record things over the last 4 years as a council that we got a feather in our cap. You know, I get to brag on different levels about, I mean, we seen during a pandemic over the last 3 years, our revenues increased by 55%. While we kept the taxes flat and we gave tax abatements. I mean, the only locality that comes close to what we did with that during that time was Loudoun, and they were at 35%. You know, for the fact that we gave record tax abatements, you were part of us bringing a DMV, a part of us before the state mandated it, to move the elections to November, you know, to all of the numerous proclamation and awards, you know, what we've done over the last 4 years together as a council, whether people agreed with it or didn't agree with it, is I don't think the record will show the type of economic development and the changes, the senior programs, what we done for the police department, and the bridges that we built that Dumfries didn't have during that time. We built relationships with the county on the state level, federal, on different boards and commissions from NVRC that we did not have when we came on as a council. And so the magnitude of the history that we created together, that cannot be taken. And so for that, this town is grateful for the service, and we know that you'll still be around. Now, I do have some prepared remarks, so let me get to those before I get too far off. I want to take the time to thank everyone for the outpouring and support. I wasn't here at the last meeting. I was at the National League of Cities Conference, where I just got elected as second vice president of the National Black Caucus of local elected officials, which Dumfries is making an impact nationally. I don't think that has ever been done before. But I just want to let everybody know, yes, I received your emails, your text messages, your instant messages, your calls of congratulations. Thank you for those words. It is a tremendous honor that I don't take lightly to serve as your mayor for another 4 years. I'm going to continue to work hard towards making our town a great place to live, a great place to work, and a great place to play, because I'm talking about Destination Dumfries. And I eat, live, breathe that. I don't know if y'all really understand how much of an ambassador I am and how much I embody the history that I've taken on of this town. Welcome to December. It's the final month of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm not going to sing because that's Councilman Fields, but so many people celebrate so many different things this month. My family and we celebrate both Christmas and Kwanzaa. And for those who don't know what Kwanzaa is, it's a African-American culture that they celebrate for 7 days. There's a principle that they acknowledge each and every day from the 26th to the 1st. And each principle means something, and you teach it to the young people and the parents, and you take a principle and you recite it. I just wanted to share those principles because I think it's principles that we all can use throughout this holiday season. The first day, which is the 26th of December, we celebrate Umoja, which stands for unity. And unity means to strive for and to maintain unity in our community and in our family. The second day, we say Kujijakalia, which is Swahili for self-determination. And it means to define and name ourselves as well as to create and to speak up for ourselves. The third day is Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together, to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems, and to look for solutions to solve them together. The fourth day is Ujama, which means cooperative economics, to build and maintain our stores, our shops, and other business, and to help them to profit together, right? Because we are a capitalistic society. The fifth day is Nia, which stands for purpose, to make our collective vocation to building and developing our community in order to restore the traditions of our culture back to greatness. Day 6 is Kuumba, which means creativity, to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. And the last day, which is New Year's, is Imani, which is translated faith. To believe with all our hearts in our people, in our parents, in our teachers, in our leaders, in our righteousness, in our victory, and believe in our struggles. Lastly, it's been said, not lastly, because I got a couple other points, but I want to remind you all to check on your family and friends during this season, right? We hear that often, check on not only your weak friends, but check on your strong friends too, right? Because they need checking on in this season. A lot of people sometimes go through different emotional states. They begin to think about maybe their mother, their father, their sister, their brother, those ones that they don't have anymore. And so they're going through things and you don't know it. And if they come to your mind, that means that you maybe should call and check on them or send them a message. Let them know that you're thinking about them, a word of concern. To those who are going through a tough season right now, I ask that you don't make a permanent decision for a temporary problem, right? And all your problems are temporary. Reach out to somebody for help. Reach out to any one of us on this dais or anyone around if you need some help, if you're going through something. One of the things that helps me to get unstuck and to change my focus is not to focus on what I'm going through, but to start focusing on what I'm going to. That's a bar, right? Don't focus on what you're going through, but focus on what you're going to. And then you begin to think about all the things that you're grateful for. What are you grateful for in this season? And my prayer is that all of you have a holly jolly holiday season. I want to make sure that I remind you all about the Christmas parade because Councilman Pete said to make sure y'all know where to start at. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's 10 a.m. All right, we're going to start at Potomac Valley Church as the staging. The route is going to go up Williamstown Drive. It's going to turn up, was that Old Triangle? Yeah, Old Triangle. Come to Grand Park Road. It's going to come across Route 1 and it's going to come back down to Main Street and it's going to end here at the Town Hall. All right, so it's going to go down Williamstown Drive. We're going to make a right on through Williamstown. So we're coming through the community. All right, we're going to come on Grand Park Road, across Route 1, and we're going to come down Main Street and we're going to end at the Town Hall, and there will be a battle of the bands. Some of the bands that I know for sure that is coming, you'll see the Marine Corps band, you'll see the Bowie State, you'll see some high school bands, but make sure you come out and be a part of it. The ice skating rink is going to start after the parade. They'll be open until 3. Then they'll be open again on Sunday from 1 to 3. And they'll be open again on December 17th, 18th from 1 to 3. And there's no cost for your children to come out and to participate in our ice skating rink that's here. I want to also acknowledge our Director of Civil Engagement and her staff for the hard work they've been doing to put these events together. Please give them a round of applause. As Councilwoman Miles said, they did an awesome job of just like, when y'all came in, did the town square look beautiful? Wasn't it all lit up? So you give them and the public works staff for decorating this building and getting the town square looking very jolly this season. We have a gorgeous tree this year. I remember the days, I think we started this, 10 years ago, and we used to have a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree in front of the community center. Y'all don't laugh at our Charlie. Yeah, okay. We worked with the budget she had at the time, but we started off. I'm just talking about how far we come. Can I talk about, we come from a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree with a little thing on top to now we got almost a 30-foot tree sitting out in the town. Give our staff a round of applause for pulling that off. Like I get excited. It's actually one of the things I harped on last season about how sorry I thought the town square went, but I'm glad that we've got it looking real good this year. This is the best I've ever seen. I'm excited about that. So listen, I'll see you all at the parade on Saturday. Again, it starts at 10 a.m. And if my baby girl is watching, happy early birthday to my daughter, Divine. She will be 22 this year. She'll be 22, so happy birthday. Yeah, I'm sure it's 22. All right. All right, I know these kids are getting old. All right. Now we can move on to our reports and presentations. I'm excited about both presentations that we have tonight. The first one is going to talk about just all the growth that we have done here as a council. And we're excited to hear about the growth of what's going to happen or what's proposed on Main Street. So we're going to ask the Main Street Development or DEO partners to take their position at the podium. And the floor is now yours. Welcome, Ms. Maddie.
Good evening. Thank you all for having us. I'm Maddie Ford, and this is my partner, Michael Mears. We've spent the last couple months working with the town staff, and we are about to submit a proffers amendment for the site on Main Street, which was formerly the first town center development. We have rebranded the newly envisioned development as Aris on Main. Aris is actually Scottish Gaelic for residents and is kind of an homage to Dumfries' sister city in Scotland. And we thought that the town deserved something fresh, something new, and we're very excited to present to you this evening. So there we go. These are some high-level conceptual facts, which will help you as I read through the site plan, but we have a 211-unit multifamily building. It will be 5 stories. We also have envisioned 30 townhomes, which could alternatively be 60 2/2 units, which would be available for sale home ownership, in addition to the market rate rental building adjacent to it. Our plan is consistent with VDOT's road widening plans, and it's also consistent with the new entry to the Rose Casino, which will be right across the street from our development. So, okay. So this is the concept layout along Main Street. The pink units are my favorite color, but those are showing the 30 townhomes or the 62 over 2s, which again will be for sale. And that will be divided into a land bay. So that will be land bay 2. Land bay 1 is to the left, and that shows the multifamily building, which goes down Main Street and is really curves along the side with surface parking behind. You can see the yellow area is where we'll have the amenities faced, and right next to the yellow area is an area marked terrace. So if you move to the next slide, you can see some of the initial renderings. So The lower rendering shows the terrace. And we really wanted to make sure that our vision was responsive to the town's comprehensive plan, the town's needs, the desire for a walkable community. So we envision this being a very well-programmed terrace available for public use. This is where you can do a pumpkin patch. You can have a farmer's market. You can have food trucks. This is where people can stop and have meetings with their friends as they're walking up to the new park at the Rose Casino. We really want to make sure that this is inclusive and available for the community. We think it will be beautiful, and after we submit and as we advance our plans, we're happy to bring in more renderings to give you a better picture of how beautiful this will be. As you can see, there are two major facade types along the multifamily building, which you can kind of see in the top rendering. So we have used brick on either end, trying to tie into the historic nature of the town, but also bringing a fresh and modern look with the white brick. We have red brick on 3 repeating facade types, trying to break up the length of the building as it is quite a long building. Our goal is for this to be a really approachable building that people feel comfortable with and weaves into the community. The massing really needed the multiple facade types, again, just given the length. To the left, you can see the beginning of the townhome piece. That's the brown building. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what that product will look like in terms of height. It will probably be 4-story product, while the multifamily building will be 5 stories. So I think there should be one more. Here we go. This is just another rendering, so you can kind of get a better idea what the other end closest to this building will look like down at the bottom. Okay. So, our goal tonight was really just to come and give you an introduction to our plan. We're not asking for anything tonight. We'll be submitting in the next couple of weeks. We're very excited to work with you all and the community. We'll be here on Saturday. So if you have any questions, we're happy to talk to anybody about our plan. Really anytime. You can get our email address from Keith or Nick or Janae, and very much looking forward to being a larger part of the community and responsive to your needs.
Councilman Fields.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I've been waiting to see that. So it's going to make our Main Street look great. So really thank you for this little bit. I know it's more to come, but just thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having us.
Councilwoman Neville.
That looks beautiful.
Thank you.
I remember talks about this vision many, many moons ago. Simple question, not to jump too far ahead. Do you plan, because I might be selling my house. Are you gonna have balconies on these?
Yes. So if you look, it's a little bit hard to see on this. If you go back a slide, these 3 repeating red brick facades have balconies available.
I see it. I can see it.
Yeah, they're more Juliet style.
Yeah.
So it's a smaller balcony, but they are on the front, which we think, there are pros and cons if you talk to any real estate developer, but we think it, you never want it to become a storage receptacle, but you also want people to have the opportunity to have fresh light and air and be interacting with the street. So hoping it's the latter.
Well, thank you. That is absolutely beautiful. And I will definitely be following your development.
Great.
So thank you.
Just want to say thank you. Parking, can you go back to show us parking? Are you planning on doing a parking garage? And
No.
No.
So there is no parking garage envisioned on this site. The site has several constraints related to the fact that it's in a floodplain. It has an RPA designation. We are going to manage all the stormwater on site. But the costs in some of the fill and stormwater management make a structured parking deck kind of cost prohibitive here. I believe the former plan
Yeah, it had a,
showed underground parking, which is also not feasible given the nature of the floodplain in this zone.
so for the apartments and the housing, will the parking be adequate, or are we planning, I guess, street parking?
We believe that the parking will be adequate. There will also be, it's not shown on here, in connection with the Main Street kind of redevelopment, there will be parallel parking all along Main Street in addition to the parking offered on site.
Councilwoman Neville?
Will the townhomes have garages?
The townhomes will either have a garage or an open garage.
Okay, and just quick note as I think about the multifamily units, I'm glad that our school board representative is here. So before you leave, I'd love for you to get, Mr. Wilk, could you please raise your hand? Exchange information
Sure.
because of the impact with the schools in our district as well. Thank you.
Certainly.
Well, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming in, picking up this project. I know this property has lied dormant. It's been one of the biggest questions about our Main Street and probably the biggest eyesore. And so to be able to see this, what is a best case scenario timeline for this project and maybe a worst case that you can give us?
I don't do worst case. So I'll give
Okay,
you best case.
give us the best case then. That's what I like.
I think you all have had the worst case.
Yeah.
So, best case is, within the next 2 weeks, we will be submitting our formal proffers amendment. So hopefully that process can move forward quickly and we can have approval either in February or March from you all. We'll then be immediately submitting for site plan approval, which we hope could be achieved by May or June. And then from there, we'll have some permitting and site work. We hope, a year with a shovel in the ground so we can make sure we're doing it correctly. And I know Janae will make sure that we do. But I think a year is a reasonable expectation to get a shovel in the ground, and then we'll be off to the races. And, the multifamily building, I would say 18 to 24 months for a certificate of occupancy and people moving in from there.
That is awesome. Listen, we appreciate y'all investing in the town of Dumfries and coming in. Let all your other developer friends know that Dumfries is open for business, and we appreciate y'all coming by. Thank you for your presentation.
Yes, thank you all.
Did your partner want to say anything to us? He's so quiet.
He is.
She did a great job.
Okay. All right, next is a presentation from our school, Prince William County Specialty Program, Mrs. Lamara Colin and Mr. Justin Wilk, our Potomac District Supervisor. I'm sorry, Potomac District School Board member, not supervisor.
Redact that from. I'll be getting a call soon. Thank you all for having us tonight. We always appreciate coming. Thank you. Congratulations to those of you who were successful last month in your elections. I would be remiss if I didn't thank and acknowledge Council Member Neville's contributions. I have known her, 10 plus years. It's been a long time. And we go way back, and, we've heard a lot of your accomplishments and the accolades tonight. I just, from a former teacher standpoint, I think it's very important to have educators serving in our elected offices. And I want to thank you for that service. It's very important. You've served multiple school districts in some capacity, and what you're doing now with your literacy center, which I've had the chance to go to multiple times, is truly a testament to your commitment to the students of Prince William County. So thank you, and thank you for your service. So our specialty programs, I'm excited about this. It's hard to believe it was 15 years ago in August when I was hired by Prince William County Schools in May of 2007 to be a 7th grade middle school teacher for the all boys same gender program. Now, at that time, coming down from Michigan, I had no idea what that even meant, really. I was sent a book in the mail by the principal, by Dr. Leonard Sachs, to learn how to teach all male classrooms. And at that point, it was a pilot phase program and what would become a specialty program in Prince William County Schools, which is actually still here today at Woodbridge Middle School. So many years, these programs have been around for a long time. We in the Potomac District have programs ranging from the IT program at our Forest Park, our Bruins, our math and science program at our Grand Park Lions, and programs like our welding program and our Cambridge program at Potomac High School, our Panthers. I'm excited tonight to introduce you to someone who actually knows the community very well. Dr. Lynn Mara Colon is a former principal of the Mary Williams Elementary, which is off the Eastern Route 1 corridor on Panther Pride Drive, right before it kind of cascades to Potomac Middle and then Potomac High School. So it's a nice kind of feeder system back there. Dr. Colon was there when I first came on the board in the first couple of years. She was a phenomenal principal. And I'm not just saying that because she's right here with me. I missed her greatly in the district, but she was a phenomenal principal who made it her goal to bring the Disney magic that a child feels going to a Disney theme park to the joys of coming to her elementary school. She's an award-winning principal, a number of accomplishments, which I don't have them all here today, but I will say one of the other testament to her commitment is she built a lot of strong partnerships with a lot of ed tech companies and was able to get great resources to her building and innovative technology to her students, which you can still see that presence in that building today after. But as we all know, good principals often, unfortunately, do get promoted in some capacity and they leave their schools, but she is now still doing great work and she is here tonight. I didn't know it was going to be her initially, so I'm excited about this, that she was paired here tonight to present to you our specialty programs of Prince William County Schools. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Colon.
Thank you. Do we have something to advance the slides or? Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the nice introduction. I'm excited to be here today. Advanced academics and specialty programs is one of the areas that I oversee, in addition to other federal programs that are making a difference for students. If you can advance the slide. So for today, our goal is really to share with you some of the specialty programs that we have in Prince William County Schools, to explore high school specialty programs and to bring some awareness and understanding around the application process, the deadlines, and the supports that we have for students in Prince William County. If you can. All right. So it's important to know that all specialty programs are open to all students in the school division that are registered here in Prince William County. And they focus on specific careers such as plumbing or carpentry, subjects such as math and science, or college university preparations such as advanced academics and Cambridge courses, just like Mr. Wilk mentioned. The majority of our programs are interest-based, which means if you're interested, you can apply. And our programs are open to rising first graders through 11th grade. So we have for the younger grades and also for high school. And they fall into three main categories: transfer, transport, and site-based, which will be explained in the next slide.
So for transfer programs, all of our elementary and and middle schools and most of our high schools fall under this category. Transfer programs are only available at the high school level. In those programs, students attend their zone school for their core classes and attend the program location school for the courses of the specialty program. Now, site-based programs mean that the base school hosts the program for the students. Next slide. And then if you click it again, because I want to highlight that point. Our programs cover a specific area and are predetermined. In the example that you have in the slide, you will see that if the student lives in the Potomac Middle School boundaries, but is interested in participating in an IB program based on the zoning, you will see that the student will need to apply to Hampton Middle School. Next slide. We offer two types of transportation in Prince William County. The traditional bus transportation is what most students use. A student walks out the door and it's usually at a bus stop within minutes. For students participating in our specialty program, you will see in the slide that we have the express bus service. And what this means is that the bus stops at a centralized location throughout the division, usually a school or a community based center, and pick up students to attend the specialty program. One example is I had students when I was a principal at Mary Williams that would pick up the bus at the school and then would go to the different specialty programs within the school division. Next slide. So for those of you that love activities and athletics, high school students who attend a specialty program should be sure to check out Regulation 640-2 to verify their eligibility for sports and other VHSL activities. Now, our rising ninth graders establish their eligibility once they enroll in the high school. Next slide. We have a couple of elementary specialty programs and they are highlighted in this slide. You see that we have IB for the primary years. We have world languages at the schools listed. And then on the other slide, you can see our traditional schools, Pennington and Porter. For the students residing in this area, Porter would be the school of choice. Next slide. At the middle level, we offer 5 programs. We have IB, Middle Years Program. We have the World Languages Program. We have the Math and Science Program, and we have traditional schools in the same gender program that Mr. Wilk made reference to. On the slide, you can see the program locations for those unique programs. Next slide. Our high school programs fall into 6 main categories: agriculture and construction, arts and communication, cross-curricular, public service, science and tech, and transportation programs. Next slide. In the architecture and construction category, a student may apply to the programs that you see available on the screen. For many of the programs, such as plumbing, welding, and electricity in particular, students have the opportunity not only to get hands-on experience, but they also earn industry credentials, which is something that we are very proud of. Next slide. For the arts and communications category, a student may apply to any of the programs available on the slide. I want you to know that for the fine and performing arts program, this is merit-based, which means that students must audition in order to be accepted and selected to participate in the program. Auditions take place in January, and students should be sure to complete their application by December 14th. For all of the other programs, they're interest-based. Next slide. The programs on this slide are our cross-curricular programs, meaning that students take a variety of courses across content areas to meet the requirements. Next slide. This slide has our public service programs. We have firefighting and practical nursing programs, and these are both merit-based. Firefighting is available to rising 12th grade students, and it requires students to be at least 16 years of age, and they must pass a physical entrance exam to be able to participate in the program. Now, for the practical nursing program, it is available for students in the 12th grade, and it also has an entrance exam and an interview process. JROTC is a site-based program, meaning that is available at most of our high schools, and students may not transfer schools for military branch. Students interested in medical billing and coding, pharmacy tech, both receive industry certification, which again is phenomenal for students who are interested in earning that. Next slide. Now, the programs on this slide fall into the science and technology category. Both pre-Governor School and the Governor School at Innovation Park are merit-based programs, and students must complete a portfolio in order to be accepted. Next slide. The programs here fall into the transportation category, and students in these courses also receive industry certification. For these interest-based programs, students must meet the basic requirements on the slide. They must have a C or better in their courses and be in good attendance and behavioral standing. Next slide. This slide becomes very important because all applications must be submitted through the application portal, and this information is in our website. Students may choose up to 3 programs of interest, and the program decisions are communicated through the portal. The application process is open right now. And you can go to the website and see the dates. I want to highlight again for the Center for Fine and Performing Arts, the deadline is December 14th. So we can send invitations for the audition process. Now, for all other programs, the deadline is February 1st. Okay. Decisions are communicated through the portal, and then your deadline for those that are listening and tuning in is March 5th to commit to a decision. Next slide. This is our website. We are also active on different social media channels, engaging with the community. If you have any questions or for those citizens that need interpretation, we have recordings in the webpage with not only different languages and the captions, but more detailed information on how to access the programs, apply. And again, you can contact our office. That's the email. Karima Wesselhoff is our supervisor of advanced academics and specialty programs. And we have an amazing staff. We have multilingual staff that is able to communicate in different languages with the community. And we are excited just to welcome as many students as possible and create opportunities for them to have access to all of these programs.
Wow. Thank you for that presentation. Council, any questions or comments before? Okay, Councilman Pete, then I go to Councilman Brown.
Oh, yes. Thank you again for an excellent presentation, as I am one of the one of the big advocates for students to enter into specialty programs, because I myself in high school was in the specialty programs and into the specialty wing. And it helps out a lot as far as the type of interest you want, which is in the case your school may not have, but you have the ability to go to another school and get into one of those courses of interest. It's two things in one. Can you explain the difference between the closing application and the deadline acceptance for offered seat?
Tell me more.
Well, okay, right here on your application timeline, I run into this often. The application close deadline, which is February the 1st, and then can you also highlight the deadline for the accepting of an offered seat? The difference between the two. Yeah, thank you.
Correct. So the application deadline is just to submit your choices. And then the second deadline that we highlighted in the presentation is for you to commit to the choice that you have selected. So remember, you get up to 3 choices. And you can't say, okay, I want to, you have to commit to only one. So that's the deadline for your commitment to that particular choice. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. You hit it right on the nail, because like I said, I run into this often, and explaining it to families, they sometimes don't understand of why they couldn't have at first when you have the option of the 3 and you have to choose between the 3. Yeah. So thank you again for the great presentation. Thank you, Mr. Wilkes.
So just for clarity for myself, once a student applies for a particular specialty, let's say in the 8th grade, do they have to reapply every year, or they're in that program until they graduate?
No. Once you apply to the program and you're accepted, you are part of the program.
Okay. And this is very, to me, you can tell by the gray hair, this was not around when I was coming through high school. So I mentor a young lady at our Boys and Girls Club, and she was explaining this to me. It was like freaking me out. Like, how do you go to school halfway across the county? And this is exactly what she was trying to explain to me. So thank you for providing this type of opportunity for residents of the town of Dumfries and Prince William County. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who else was there? Councilwoman DeVille?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Mr. Wilk, I just want to thank you for accepting the invitation and you all being able to come here tonight and share this information in a timely fashion with the citizens of Dumfries. Sometimes we need a little extra to make sure that our youth are represented in these programs. So I truly appreciate you coming and doing that. To those who are tuned in, whenever you tune into this video and watch that presentation, this is something good to work on during the winter break. Getting that application together, unless it's the creative and fine arts. But as far as the February deadline, this is a good thing to work on. Quick question, is it still a lottery? I know it was a lottery system for like the elementary programs long ago. Does the lottery system still exist?
Correct.
Okay. And trying to remember because my son was in specialty programs. Do you all still offer the opportunities? I'm sure you do, since the pandemic with all the different educational options, for them to take other classes outside of school to save an elective. So let's say someone is accepted into the high school program, and because of the program, for example, at Forest Park, they may lose an elective or it'll impact their schedule because it's another class they have to take. So do you still offer things like PE virtually, so those students could take PE if they want to stay in the band and have that elective in place?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's another thing that would be good to highlight. If it's not already highlighted on your website, options, because a lot of times students, just a child's mind looking at it like, oh, well, then I'm not going to be able to play my saxophone. Like, I don't know if I should do it because of that. But if they know that they can take a class like PE, hypothetically speaking, virtually, or, I think even it used to be like a summer option, so they can have all of their electives. I think that would be a good thing, but thank you so much for coming and giving this thorough presentation.
Oh, thank you.
Councilman Fields.
Yeah, thanks again, echoing what everyone has said before. JRTC, is that offered at every high school in the county?
The branches are different.
I understand.
Yes, yes. So I would have to get you back on that one. I'm not certain, but
But if a student,
Both Potomac schools have it.
okay, great.
which would be the.
I'm real, being a veteran, and my favorite holiday was last month, Veterans Day.
Mhm.
I'm real big on that, and the opportunity for children to get into JRTC, have that military experience. In my rural county school that I went to, Dinwiddie High School, back in the day, didn't have JRTC, which prompted me to join the National Guard while I was still a senior. And my drill weekends, on that Friday, I would wear my uniform to school throughout just about my whole senior year. So I'm glad that I mentored a young lady, as you know, Justin, we talked, mentored a young lady that graduated summer school this past summer from JRTC program. And as soon as she's eligible, she will be going into the Army. And hopefully I can mentor and still guide her in the right direction. So I'm going to say the Army ROTC program is a great program. I'm not sure of all the other branches that you have, but hey guys, thank you.
You're
Councilwoman Miles.
Thank you. And thank you for such a thorough presentation. This is really vital information that we need. I just have one quick question for you. So the applications close on the 14th, not the 14th, the 1st of February?
Correct. For all programs except for the arts and performing.
So when can parents and students expect to hear an answer on their choices if they've been accepted, or how much time do they pretty much have to make a decision before the deadline to commit?
So shortly after, so by March, you have to commit to a decision, and then a couple of weeks before, through the application portal, you will receive a message of your acceptance.
So I have one more for you. So let's say you submit your application, you're a good student, you submitted your application on December 28th. Do you still have to wait till 2 weeks before the commit date to get your decision back from the school? Let's say you say you have 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks of the commit date, you will get a message in portal. But if you do your application early, do you get the message sooner than 2 weeks?
Not necessarily, right? Because we work through a system. So you would receive your acceptance email a couple of weeks before you have to actually commit. So meaning that the sooner you fill out the application does not necessarily mean the sooner you will get the answer.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you for taking time out your weeknight to come by here. Understand, as teachers and administrators, your time is precious. And so we thank you for that. We know it's one of those thankless jobs. My question goes back to the marketing. We used to have, and I don't know if now with your new superintendent, you bringing back the career counselors, where now you have the career days, right, to be able to promote this. In January, they used to hold on the west side and the east side of the county. They would have, I was one of those active parents that would be at all of those or either do a presentation at them, but then they got away from doing it to promote these programs. And I found sometimes that the counselors at some of these schools aren't well versed on helping to promote and get these kids in these programs. And so oftentimes when I go into guest speaking classes, first thing I ask is all the students, what do you want to be? And sometimes they be wanting to be in cybersecurity or some of that. And I'd be like, well, did you know that there's a specialty program for that? And the kid will shake their head like, no. And I'm just like, flat. And they'll be at Forest Park. And I'd be like, do you know this is an IT school that you should be in their program? And so how are we, like, my concern in my heart is always like, you're in these schools with these specialty programs, but you're not signed up for it. And, and I know that the counselors are, their job description is kind of different now, but how do we
how are we promoting and marketing it to these students? Because I'm in your schools, Justin sees me in all of your schools, and I'm talking to the young people.
That's a great question. So, as part of our strategic plan, we have identified as one of our goals to increase the diversity and also the students who are represented in the specialty program. So you get me tonight because the team is out there in schools presenting to families, but we are also presenting to students as young as the elementary, because we want to create awareness and get them excited about the things that we have to offer. I mentioned in my previous answer the access to translation and interpretation, and that's something that we're becoming very intentional about. So families know that regardless of the language that they speak, they have access to this for their student as well. We are going on the roadshow in person, but also virtually to accommodate to the need of families who just need to pick up the phone, join a Zoom while they're cooking, or simply watch the video that we have posted online. So we're being creative, also intentional about the gaps that we know exist so that we can tap into the resources and target specific populations, guaranteeing that we have equal representation.
Well, thank you for that. And I do appreciate actually, your new comprehensive plan that Dr. McDade put forth as far as the pathway to a student. If anybody hasn't read that or taken a look at that, I recommend they do, because it ties right into what you're doing and just how thorough and how clean this presentation is. It's light years away from where it used to be. And I've been an admissions officer going to almost every school in the county, looking at all of their specialty programs and ROTC programs. So I know a lot of the teachers well. So thank you again. Thank you, Mr. Wilk. And if there's no more questions, that will conclude your presentation for tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. All right, at this time, we will prepare for closed session. After I read the resolution, we'll take a quick 5-minute restroom break and stuff like that. It says, whereas the Dumfries Town Council. Nope, I don't want to come out yet. I want to go in. Whereas the Dumfries Town Council desires to discuss in the closed meeting the following matter: a discussion of consideration of acquisition of real property for the public person, where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining or negotiating strategy of the public body pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711 Alpha 3, and whereas pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711 Alpha 3, such discussions may occur in closed sessions. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Council does hereby authorize discussion of the stated matter in closed session on a motion made by myself. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, second. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, I will call for the question. Councilman Pete?
Yes.
Councilman Brown?
Yes.
Councilwoman Miles?
Aye.
Councilman Fields?
Yes.
Councilwoman Neville?
Aye.
And that's a yes for me. We're meeting closed session at 10:15. So you go to the bathroom? No, I'm sorry, 9:15. Oh, 9:15.
Whereas the Dumfries Town Council has convened in closed meeting on this day pursuant to the affirmative recorded vote in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas Virginia Code 2.2-3712 requires a certification by the town council that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town council hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in closed meeting, to which this certification resolution applies, and two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the town council. On a motion made by me,
Second.
it's been second. Any discussion on the motion? All right, seeing none, I'll call for the individual question because I can't call it as a group. Councilman Pete,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miles, Councilman Fields,
Yes.
Councilwoman Neville,
Yes.
and that's a yay from me. That motion carries 6-0. At this time, Councilwoman Neville, this meeting is finally adjourned.